From milk cows and chickens to goats, homeschooling, baking bread, good books, and way too much coffee. Thanks for joining us as we homestead in the real world.
Look into your eyes and you'll see it's been there the whole time. You guys are messing me up and I don't like it.
Well, hello, friends. So it's been a minute, a long minute, probably around 10 months-ish, give or take. Lots of things happening around here. So let's get into it. Yes, coffee. It's 9:30 at night. I really don't care. Anyway. So yeah, I had a baby, 44 years old, and I had a baby. It's been an interesting transition. I never pictured myself as like old. I'm feeling my age lately. Everything hurts, and I don't know why. And I'm tired all the time. And I'm basically a milk factory. So, yeah, it's, oh, sorry, I'm sitting at my desk tonight, doing this video just because there was so much going on, and I'm trying not to wake up the baby, and so you'll have to excuse me. I accidentally turned on my monitor. Anyway, so yeah, there's lots of things that having this baby has brought forth in our family. The dynamics of everything have changed, even just with the kids. You can see it. And she's not quite a month old yet. But some of the dynamics have changed for good and some have been for bad. Like, take, for example, with little Charlotte. So she, even though technically she's not the youngest, she's the smallest. So we always considered her the littlest in the family. So now she's the big sister, and with being the big sister has now come big emotions. So we've got the I'm the big sister, I can do it by myself attitude, but at the same time, we've got the I'm not the littlest anymore. Nobody pays as much attention to me anymore. That kind of thing going on. Elijah has a little bit of the cuddle me bug going on. So it's, Mom, can you come cuddle me? He likes it when we call it tickling his back. It's basically where you just kind of lightly with your fingers. Anyway, so the older three that are still here are very helpful, very, very helpful. Evie is constantly, can I hold her? Can I hold her? Samantha, she's actually sick right now, so she can't hold her. And then Timothy, he's stepped up in a big way. But the attention that I have to give to the baby has lessened what I would normally give them, and so I notice sometimes that there's more squabbles between them, and sometimes a little more attitude than I'd like, a lot more attitude than I would like, but anyway. So yeah, there was that. And then the same week that our baby was born, my grandmother passed away. So that was a moment. I didn't really have plans to go out in public yet, with the baby and everything, but we had to go to the funeral and did the whole people thing. So that was interesting. And okay, so I have to say something. It was kind of weird, but it was also like one of those moments that makes you realize why you like living in a smaller community. So my garbage company, and I'll give a shout out to them, Quality Disposal, out of, I don't even remember where they're out of. But anyway, I got a card in the mail today from my garbage company. So sorry for your loss. Our prayers are with you, that kind of thing. From my garbage company. How did they even know? The only thing I can think of is that maybe I have somebody in my family that works for my garbage, like my extended family that works for the garbage company that I don't realize works there, or I don't know. But is a little weird, but at the same time it's kind of endearing. Anyway, so yeah, so baby was born. And then, so baby was born on a Monday. On a Friday, my grandma passed. The following week, we did the funeral. And then they did the assets, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. The will and everything. Whatever. There was only one thing that I wanted. I didn't want any money. I didn't want any special furniture. I didn't want any jewelry. I didn't want nothing like that. My grandmother, okay, so back in the 80s, there was a company called Stick Ease, and they were basically window clings, okay? Look them up. Just look up STIK hyphen EES 1980s. Okay, and that'll show you what these things are. But anyway, my grandma used to sell them. And because of that, she had like every collection that they ever made. And I mean, they had everything from Christmas trees and Santa and whatever, to Halloween, to birthdays, to just letters. And one of the things that I remember is always putting them up with my grandma. And one in particular was a farm set. And it just really simple, just little, a barn and a tractor and a little girl with pigtails and, things like that. And I remember putting them on the windows, and I think on her refrigerator too, but I would stick them all over. Anyway, the whole point of that was that's the only thing I wanted. She had hundreds and hundreds of these things. So I specifically asked her many, many years ago, when she passed, if I could have her stickies. So anyway, point is, I got those. And so I've been going through them and kind of reorganizing them and whatever. And I got to put them up the other day. And it was really cool. Sorry. Anyway, it was just really cool to have that. The happy memories. So, wow. Didn't mean for this video to go that way. Whew. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, so all that happened. Then what's happened in between there? See, I'm going to blame this on pregnancy brain because I'm still in what's considered the 4th trimester. I had a thought with all of that and it boop. Oh well. Anyway, so yeah. So during my pregnancy, we did a few things around the house. We ended up, if you followed along on Instagram, so we redid our kitchen. And once we put in the countertops, both Brett and I were like, at first we were like, oh, this is cute. And then after a while, we we're like, these are ugly and we didn't like them. And so we wanted to replace them. So it's been a year now since we redid the kitchen. Well, we're redoing it again. We're not like moving cabinets or anything, but we did take out the countertops and we put in butcher block countertops. And I'm much happier with that. And then tomorrow, actually, I'm going to, I got some paint and I'm going to be repainting the cabinets because the gray that I have in there is nice, but what we want to do for a backsplash, if I were to use that gray with the backsplash, I don't know, my kitchen just would not look, it would look more like I don't know, like a sterile scullery or something. I didn't want to do that, but so, and then I'm also going to take off, there's a couple cabinet doors that for whatever reason that my kids hang on them or press down on them. And so the screws keep popping. And so we decided that, well, I decided I'm going to take those doors off and then I'm going to sew some like curtains and just to go across it instead. I think it'll look cute, but Brett doesn't see my vision, but he will. So he can just deal with it. He's doing something in the kitchen. Anyway, so we did that. And then, so having this baby has kind of put some of the things that we do here, I guess maybe on the back burner, if you want to call it that. So one of the big misconceptions about homesteading is that it's all or nothing. You're either grind your own wheat berries and everything is from scratch, or you're not a homesteader kind of thing. And we don't subscribe to that line of thinking. We embrace some modern conveniences such as my KitchenAid and the internet, things like that. But we're not an all or nothing homesteading family. I mean, we started with 2 ducks and we were okay with it. We built up what we had, and now what we have for this season of our life is a little too much. For us to handle. And for a while, it kind of took Brett and I some serious talking and whatever for both of us to kind of come to that realization that what was a season of our life without an infant, we had, Elijah's going to be 5 soon, Charlotte just 5. We were away from that infancy season. And so it was easier for us. We could do the milking. We could do the chicken butchering. We could do the the meat birds and have all the ducks and the geese and, you know, the steer and the pigs. And we did all of that because it was feasible for us to do. However, now that we are back in the infancy season, we don't think that we can do as much. And so what does that mean for us? And what does that mean for you guys? Well, for you guys, nothing really, just other than the fact that we might not have as much as we once did. We might not do as many things as we once did previously. That doesn't mean that we haven't or that we've lost this knowledge to do things. It just means that right now in this season, we have to prioritize family and what we can do versus maybe the things that we really want to do for now. As for us, one of the biggest things was the meat birds. And it's an when we butcher, it's an all-day affair, and that's partly because we're not professionals. We do this because it feeds our family. You know, I don't even part out my birds. Literally, I do them whole, and when I want to make chicken, I pull out 2-3 birds, put them in the roaster, roast them overnight, and then we shred the chicken off. And then what I do is I package the meat and put it in either the fridge or the freezer, and then we can pull it out and use it for whatever meal later down the road. Anyway, the point is that meat birds are for our family, it's a bigger undertaking, and we just are not in that season right now. So this year we decided we're not going to do meat birds. I am going to hatch a few birds because I have some that I would like to. I need a few more egg layers, and we have a new breed here. This one, I don't even know how to say it, but it's that chicken that's all black, and it even the insides, not just the meat, but the organs are black. Anyway, I have a few people who would like to buy some. And so I am going to hatch out a few, but nowhere near like I used to. We ended up butchering most of our geese. I have 2 still out there. They possibly will be butchered. I don't know. My goal is I want to get a couple purebred, I'm probably going to say it wrong, Sebastopol geese. I know what I'm talking about. These ones. So I'm going to get a couple of purebred of those, but they will not be for butchering. They will just be because they're pretty. And I want geese. Brett wants a few more ducks. We lost, I think we've lost 5 ducks so far. And I don't remember exactly how we lost them all. I know a couple of them were predators, but I think one of them drowned a duck. Whatever. Anyway, our pigs, we have 2 pigs out there. They will be getting butchered in, I think they're May. And then we're not doing pigs again. We have a different setup to be able to get chickens and pork, and so we're going to do that. We're just going to kind of pivot a little bit. Pivot, if you know where that came from. 10 points to you. Anyway, so that's 2 of the big things. Our steer, he's going to go in July. I think it was July. Anyway, so he'll be gone. And as far as breeding back our Susie, our dairy cow, we're not quite sure when we're going to do this. Partly, we've talked about giving ourselves a break over the winter, so we're not milking over winter. But I don't know yet. We're not 100% sure on how we're going to do that. So anyway, I'm still going to do the gardening. We still need to eat. I still need to can food, make my spaghetti sauce, do that. So that won't be changing. I'm trying to think of what other things outside that might change. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but so that kind of thing will change. There are some foods that I do make from scratch on a regular basis, and I have learned that I don't necessarily have the time. I can't say ambition because I still want to, but I don't have the time nor right now the energy. Literally, people, I'm a milk factory. She's doing the cluster nursing thing. If you have no idea what that is, basically she will nurse 5-10 minutes, fall asleep. She wakes up, nurses 5-10 minutes, falls asleep. Okay, that's great. And she'll wake up again and want to nurse. And her sleep is very non-existent. Okay. So on an average day, I get out of the chair maybe 4 times, and that's usually to pee. So yeah. So I have to cut back. And again, for a while, that was really hard for me. Mainly hard. Hold on. Mainly hard because right now I feel like I'm not doing. Brett has actually taken off the past 3 weeks, and he's going to take another week off because I was struggling with, and still am, I'm not going to lie, with postpartum depression. And so I feel right now like I'm not doing what I used to. And it's been difficult for me to get into that mindset that I'm not going to be able to do everything like I used to right now. And so I've felt, I guess, kind of like, I don't want to say like a failure, because I'm not a failure, but I feel like I'm failing, if that makes any sense. Anyway, yeah. So I even took off of Instagram for, gosh, it's been, I don't know, 5 months. I would check in here and there or whatever. But I haven't even really been on that until now. And even now, it's not like I normally would be. So, yeah, things are just changing. We're still homesteading. That's not going to change. We're still doing the homeschool thing. We're still doing the things, just maybe not as many of the things. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's zip back to the whole pregnancy thing. So I ended up getting preeclampsia. That was fun. The whole labor delivery thing. Yeah, that was mentally, that was the worst labor ever. I was induced, which I've been induced before, so it wasn't new to me. What was new was that I've never had to fight my doctor. He's always been very respectful of my wishes and whatever. And this time around, it wasn't quite the same. And I don't know if that's because people as in doctors are more cautious after COVID. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. But my nurses didn't listen to my wishes. My doctor didn't listen to my wishes. There were things that I should have been told. One of the big things was when I was in labor, they had to give me a blood pressure medication. And they didn't explain to me that medication would lower the baby's blood sugar levels. And so, oh, somebody's crying. I might have to go be a milk factory for a minute. We'll see if Brett comes out and yells. I did pump, so maybe he'll use that. But anyway, so my baby's blood sugar levels after she was born the next day were extremely low, like clinically low. It was really bad. My doctor had, we had been butting heads, and he had said something. I'm friends with my doctor. I consider him a friend, or if not a friend, a very good acquaintance. Okay. He said something that hurt me, on a friend level. And I wish he would have just kept it, because we had been butting heads already. I wish he would have just kept things doctor-patient and not interjected our friendship into it. I understand why he did. I mean, because he thought that we were able to do that. But at that time, I had just not even 24 hours ago given birth, and we were butting heads, and my hormones were raging, and it just wasn't the right time. I respect him that he did it. I don't like what he said. It hurt. I don't believe it was the truth, and I've prayed a lot about it. But the point was, I wanted to get out of there, and I couldn't get out of the hospital because her blood sugar levels were so low. And so that just upped my anxiety, and the whole thing, it was not a mentally good experience. And it sucks because it's my last one. Yes, it is my last one. Yes, I know how they are made. Yes, my husband is getting a vasectomy because I am not going under the knife just so that, Anyway, that might have been too much information, but I really don't care. Anyway, so yeah, it was hard. I don't necessarily think I have like PTSD or anything from it. I don't believe it should have happened the way it did. I wasn't looking for, rainbows and milkshakes, but when you tell your nurse, hey, I think you should check me. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. And if as a woman, if you've ever been in labor, you you don't necessarily ask to be checked because it's like they're itching your brain through your vagina. Not a great moment, okay? When you ask to be checked, maybe just go with it, nurses, okay? So I asked to be checked. I said, this feels weird. I have a lot of pressure. I had an epidural. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. I don't think this is right. And the reply was, I don't think you need to be checked because you were only a 4 a couple hours ago. Okay. You're a nurse. All right. And within a half an hour, I'm yelling, telling you, I think you need to check me. Just listen to your patient, okay? That's because a patient can go from a 4 to a 10 in just a couple hours. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, call the doctor. When you say, I think we need to call the doctor, make sure somebody calls the doctor. Okay, enough. I'm done with that. Anyway, so, yeah, I apparently need to go and be a milk factory. But I just wanted to let you guys all know what was going on, what has been going on, what will be going on. We're not going anywhere. We're just not doing all the things anymore. So, anyway, all right, friends. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully it won't be 10 months before I make another happy video. See ya.